Well, that's actually leads into something good. I had a question from someone on Reddit on Budget Audiophile. They
Mhm.
asked, I told them that you'd be on, and they said, I'm kind of curious if you're using a two-channel Yamaha setup, what would you recommend as a way to integrate, a subwoofer with that setup? So, like for example, right now I have the Yamaha AS
Mhm.
501. What
Mhm.
would be your recommendation as far as I want to add more bass? How do I do it?
Depending on which subwoofer you're going with, I mean, you always got the speaker wire connection that's going with that. Some of the integrateds do have subwoofer out, and that's becoming more common because that's more people are using that. But I have a bunch of older stuff, so it's when I do subs, and it's typically wired over there is the way we do that.
Yeah, mine does have a sub out. Now, what would you say as far as bass management? So I know my AVR does have, room correction type of stuff. But
Yeah,
with a two channel, I don't have that option, right?
you don't have that, so you got to do it the right way. You have to do it mechanically. And that's a good topic. So yeah, you have to. The sub has to be positioned right in the room, not where it looks the coolest, and probably not where it's the most convenient. More times than not, your speakers have to be out. And then for two-channel stuff, there's third-party EQs and things like that. I think, Joe, I think you've reviewed some of that stuff before, where you can add that where you really need that. The first thing you need to do, and the hardest part, is to get the room set up properly with bass traps, with not even bass traps, but you can go that far.
Any kind of acoustic treatment. So
Yeah. Anything like that. Get everything where you want it to be, and get everything out in the open. One of the problems with two-channel, it's not really a problem, it's just a fact, is you need a bigger room typically than you need with home theater. I can get by with a fairly small home theater room, but I'm going two-channel. I need a little more space because I need to bring the stuff out away from the wall. I need to bring it in from the sides to try to reduce some of that going on.
Right.
But you have to do that first. Get the speaker mechanically set in the room as best as you possibly can before you even consider equalization, and any type of DSP processing that's in there. And there's a lot of good products that are out there, aftermarket products for two-channel stuff that works really well. But don't use that as your primary way of getting awesome audio. Get the audio right first. We have a set of speakers we'll probably be talking about at the next HiFi Summit. And placement on them is real finicky.
Really?
Yeah. So
what are they, electrostats?
No. Well, no, I think Shawnee, you heard them at CES that one year.
Oh, like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Those things are nice.
Yeah, but to get them to just open up and explode is it's time consuming. It takes us a couple hours, and I set it up in the same demo room, so I kind of have a way. I know the general location, but we're doing 1/4-inch twists with the speaker stand. We're moving it forward 2 inches. We're moving it back a 1/2 inch. And it gets down where, man, that sounds really good. It sounds really good. But if you stick with it for another half hour and you just go a little bit forward, a little bit back, toe in, toe out, all of a sudden it just pops, and then it's magical. It's just unbelievable. And that's the way good speakers are. Because there's such high level physics to get two speakers to sound three-dimensional. Everyone thinks just throw some speakers up there and crank it up and turn the bass up and it's going to work. It is so dependent on room that it's actually an art form to do that. I'm not a master at it. I've seen masters do it, so I kind of steal some of their ideas. But once we get it set up in the room, then we can start messing around with EQ and fixing that bass up. If we can't fix it mechanically, then you got to go in and start doing it electronically. And that's why calibration is so important. Especially for entry-level receivers or mid-level receivers or AV receivers in general, because if you try to set up a 7.2 multi-channel system and get everything mechanically set, you'll never have time
for
to
a couple of days, right?
Yeah, I'll be time to upgrade your equipment before you hear your first movie, because it's going to take a long time. So practically, you need to have some type of EQ, like the Yamaha Y Power and Odyssey or something like that for the multi-channel stuff, because there's so much going on in the room. It's almost impossible to do it.
So that's how you say it. Y-Pow.
Y Pow.
Y-Pow. All right.